I'm a washed-up news reporter with the Washed Up TV Nightly News.
Hey, welcome to the one and the only Channel 7 News. Today we have a special issue all about what? That's right, Australia Day. We have plenty of fun info all about that day. We have even interviewed some real Aussies and some from different cultures to see the difference. Not only will we find out more about Australia Day, but we'll have lots of fun while we're at it. Back in the year 1770, Captain James Cook came searching for something like a piece of land, and that's when he found the eastern coastline of Australia. He then planted the Union Jack and went back to England to tell everyone the news. When the authorities heard they had a new piece of land, they wanted to send convicts there after a while. Cook then went on another trip to explore his way around the Antarctic Ocean. But then, in 1776, Cook visited Hawaii on his way to North America. And the natives thought he was the god of the sea, so they celebrated with him and treated him well. They thought that once a god visited somewhere, he couldn't come back. So that's where the trouble came. When Cook was going back to England, he stopped in Hawaii again. And while he was trying to figure out what had happened to one of the boats that had been stolen, the natives were suspicious. So unfortunately, they speared him. So since Cook had all sorts of experiences, he then became a captain. And that is partly the story of Australia. But that's not all, because in 1788, Captain Arthur Phillip brought the first fleet to Australia with 11 boats, and then he started to bring convicts and slowly create Australia. So he was the first one to bring people over, and then they slowly created Australia. The name Australia Day was marked, but not until 1944 did people celebrate it as a public holiday. Because these days, it's a public holiday for sure. All schools close, the same as post office, and not many shops are open. Okay. Today we have our first person that we're going to interview, Marie Pierce. So Marie, where is your background from?
I'm third generation Australian. My parents were born here, my grandparents were born here, and my great grandparents came here by boat.
So what does Australia Day mean to you?
Australia Day means Invasion Day to me.
And in your own words, what would an Invasion Day be?
Respect for the Australian Aborigine.
Okay. And what do you like most about living in Australia?
The lifestyle. The multiculturalism, the beaches, the beautiful people, and the open opportunities that we all have in this country.
Okay. And what would you normally do on Australia Day?
Well, I try to spend it with family and friends. We try to sometimes get to Redfern and spend it with the Aboriginal Society. I always try to carry an Aboriginal flag on Australia Day in respect again for the Aboriginal. Or if we can't get there, we go to Cars Park and spend with our friends and watch the fireworks.
All right.
It's all about family for me.
Thank you.
You're welcome, darling.
Okay, here we have our next person we're going to interview, Amanda. Hello Amanda, how are you?
I'm good. Hi Julianne, how are you?
Good, thanks. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. First, what do you like doing on Australia Day?
Well, I love to spend time with my friends and family. I love having a barbecue. Generally the weather's really nice and warm, it's hot. I also like to listen to Triple J's Hottest 100, music countdown, listen to all the songs of the year, brings back memories of the year. Just having fun and enjoying time with family and friends.
Alright, that's great. What do you like most about living in Australia?
I love the climate. I love that it's clean, it's warm, it's good weather. The sun's out most of the time, even though this summer's been pretty bad. I like the people. I love the food, the variety of food, from Italian, Chinese, everything. I love it. Beautiful food.
That's awesome. And what does Australia Day mean to you?
Well, I suppose Australia Day means quite a few things. It's the arrival of the first fleet back into Sydney Cove many years ago. It's also, Australia Day means a lot of things for me. Also it means when the ferries have the ferries race on Australia Day morning under the Harbour Bridge. I love that. Also Australian of the Year. I think Australia Day means to me just the celebration of Australians, both new and old, and also they have a lot of citizenship days and ceremonies in Australia to welcome new Australians. And I just love the varied nature of it all, the acceptance of different cultures and the harmony between all cultural groups. I like it.
And some people call it Invasion Day or Survival Day. Would you call it this or not at all?
Well, listen, I think everyone's entitled to their own opinions. I personally don't call it that, but I can see and understand why people would. I think we have to acknowledge our history, but then again we have to move with the times. So it's not my preferred way of calling it. I like Australia Day, but I think what is it to be Australian is a big question, and I think everyone has a very different answer. And people are entitled to their own opinion about that.
And can you tell us, if you want, what your background is?
I am Australian for a lot of generations to go. My parents are Australian, my grandparents are Australian. I think my great-grandparents are Australian as well. I think if you're going further back than that, we're getting pretty old. I think there's probably some English relatives in my family, and I think there's some Polish relatives in my family, but I must admit I don't go back that far.
Alright. Well, thank you for sharing that today.
You're more than welcome, thank you.
Alright, I'll see you soon.
Okay, bye.
Many of us do lots of things on Australia Day. Whether it's watching the fireworks or having a barbecue, Australia Day is always for everyone.